Good morning. How is everybody today? Happy Tuesday. Hello, all the glue nerds out there who have been taking my workshops and following along. Hello, anyone out there who is not yet a glue nerd, but you've seen my post and you're like, what is this soul collage stuff? So I'm here today to talk about that. The reason I'm doing this video is that I recently joined a wonderful group. Thank you, Laurel, for starting our group, which is for creatives who work alone, some illustrators, photographers, soul collage facilitators, and we all work out of our own studios, and we decided we needed to get together for a couple of weeks to have grown-up interactions, and it's sort of become an accountability group. So one of my two goals was to make a video and post it. So here I am, and this is what I'm doing. I'm very nervous, and I know you're not supposed to say that when you public speak, which is weird because I do workshops all the time. But I'm much more nervous about making this video than I ever am about doing a workshop in front of, live people. Anyway, so I want to talk about soul collage. I don't want to talk about my nerves. So soul collage, what is it? Soul collage is this wonderful, simple, beautiful, creative mindfulness practice. You don't need any artistic ability to do it, even though it's artistic. That basically helps you identify stuff in your life that you want to fix. It helps you get to the stuff that's in your subconscious and your unconscious. It helps it all bubble up to the surface to learn more about yourself. You discover your own inner wisdom. And in Soul Collage, we always say everything that we need to know is already inside of ourselves, and we just have to find the right tool to get it out. So Soul Collage is a terrific tool for getting to that stuff that's inside of you that you need to work through. I've been doing it for a number of years now, and I wanted to show you a few cards and sort of explain the process to you if you've, haven't been to many more workshops yet. So here's one of the in fact, this was my very first card, and you'll notice there's no color in it. I was very proud of it when I did it, and I was at a retreat, and my first experience of making this card, I was very slow. It took me a long time. Like everybody else, they'd made 3 or 4 cards, and it took me a long time to choose all the images. And I really love this card. When you make a card, in Soul Collage, the card can have multiple images. It can have a single image. It seems kind of weird to call this a collage, but it is. And this is actually one of my most powerful cards. I made this again fairly early on, and this is a card I call kind of my inner introvert card. And when I did a reading with this card, and that's the wonderful thing about Soul Collage, is we make these cards and then we do readings with them, and that's where you get to the good stuff that's inside of you. This card is all about how I seek the quiet spaces, and I have to be very extroverted for my workshops and promoting myself, but I'm really an introvert. So I might be a very extroverted introvert and I talk a lot, but when I'm done peopling, like I retreat. I find those quiet spaces. And what this card taught me was that I can also bring the quiet spaces with me. Like I can sort of bring that quiet that I need with me everywhere I go, even if I'm peopling, even if I'm doing a workshop. But I do need that quiet afterwards. So anyway, so I want to show you a card that I made and do a reading with, and show you what the reading is like. So I made this card again at a retreat, and this card is called The Eyes Have It. A little pun there. But when you do a soul collage card, so the steps in doing soul collage is, first you make your card, and a good facilitator will provide all kinds of wonderful images. And the facilitator I had, her name is Anne-Marie Bennett. Hi, Anne-Marie. She just had all kinds of really cool images for us. She had, cut out all thousands of magazine images for us at the retreat. And so there was so much to choose from. And obviously I went crazy with all the little eyes, and I had to glue all those on there. Again, very slow. Everybody else was making 5 or 6 cards. I made 1. But once you're done making a soul collage card, so once you've glued it all down and it's done, then you actually get to do a reading. And this is where we look at the images. And most soul collage cards you make very intuitively. So you don't necessarily know why you've chosen these images. They appeal to you. Something in your brain says, ooh, and you put it on the paper, and then all of a sudden, here it is. Here's your card. So what do you do with it? Well, there's a way to actually get the information from this card, and that's to do a reading. And we ask the card some very specific questions. And if this card had a voice, if this card could speak, if the lady in the mirror in the card could speak, or maybe all the eyes could speak and they had their own voices, how would they answer these questions? So I asked these questions. I learned the method. And so the very first question is, who are you? And when I asked this card, who are you? I'm just going to turn my head to the side to read for a second. She said, I am the one who watches. I am the one who is wary. I am the one who is wary of new people and trying new things. I am the one who sits just outside of the circle, who watches and waits and worries about getting involved. So clearly, this represents that really introverted part of me. I'm that very shy part of me. I was bullied as a kid, and so I struggle with that even as an adult now. So the next question that we ask is, what do you have to give me? And so when I asked my card, what do you have to give me? She said, what I have to give you is an ability to step back and observe carefully. What I have to give you is caution and thoughtfulness. So not so negative now. Then we ask the card, what do you want from me? And this is, the card now is going to give you some really important information, and the card is going to answer in a way that says, I want you to remember. So this is like a piece of advice that if you don't remember anything else today, remember this. So when I asked, what do you want from me? This card said, I want you to remember that it is okay to be seen, to take chances, that you don't always have to be watchful and wary. I will protect you and I will love you. So the card was giving me some love and support, and that was amazing. And then the final question is there anything else you have to say to me today? Because sometimes there's more that comes up. And what she had to say when I asked was, what I have to say to you today is that you are worthy. You can step out of the mirror and into the circle. You can be a part of things. You can get involved. What happened to you as a child and a young adult doesn't have to be what happens to you for the rest of your life. So very powerful reading. So cards can really bring up stuff that you're not aware of, or maybe that you are aware of, but you don't want to be aware of that, and in a way that's more supportive and helpful and help you work through that stuff. So I come back to this card a lot. Another card that I made that's sort of in a very similar note is this card, and you get more color now, so I'm starting to get into color. This I made a couple of years ago also, and this, I won't do the whole reading for you, but I'll just say that this card was sort of about how the fact that I used to view doors or closed doors as obstacles, and now I realize that, you can go through the door and there's an adventure, there's a mystery, there's something potentially wonderful on the other side, and so this card is all about sort of, just getting out there and opening those doors and seeing all the possibilities in life. The cards that you make in Soul Collage can be very visual and beautiful. Sometimes they, I really like this card. I haven't done a reading with it yet, so I don't know what it means, but visually I find it very happy. And this was a card that I made during a very hard time last year. And I was kind of surprised it came out so colorful and beautiful, but I guess I sort of needed a really colorful, beautiful card. So I really like that one. And then, of course, here's kind of a little spooky one. I love this card, too. It makes me sort of think, ooh, it's kind of creepy, but in a wonderful way. And most of these cards I've made very intuitively. So like all of these cards, I just picked the images because they interested me and the way I put them together was very intuitive. Sometimes in Soul Collage, you can also make very intentional cards. And I'm going to show you one right now. So this was the very first card that I made that was intentional. And I intended it because I'm not very thin. You can see my face and everything, and that's fine. But I've struggled with an eating disorder for many years, and I'm still struggling with it. It's something I'm going to deal with probably for the rest of my life. I talked to my therapist about it. I've been in therapy. I've done diets. I've been really skinny. I've been really fat. So it's something I'm always going to struggle with. And when I saw this woman, I kind of had in my head, oh, I want to make a card about this eating disorder that I'm struggling with. And then one of the first images I found was this poor woman who was standing on the scale, obviously looking very ashamed. And that's how I feel. That's often how I feel. It's like, oh, if I was a better person, I'd be thinner and healthier. So I made this card all about this eating disorder that I struggle with. And I thought, well, and I sort of intuitively, I knew I needed to make another card to sort of help balance out this one. So this was the other intuitive card I made, or the other intentional card I made. And it's it's really about, the way I would like to eat and the way that I would like to live my life. And that's to be a healthier person and to focus on foods that are nutritious and not just because they taste good and I can binge on them and feel better because emotionally I'm, in a bad way. So this is a very intentional card too. And I always have these cards together, and I've actually, instead of doing sort of a, who are you and what do you want from me kind of reading, I've actually had these cards do dialogues with each other. Like the healthy card will talk to the binge card, and they'll have a little conversation. And that's really helped because sometimes when I'm feeling like I want to, eat all this stuff, I think about those little conversations and the healthy card saying, well, is that really the choice you want to make? So it's really wonderful to make cards and use them to help you in places where you might feel stuck in your life. I don't want to talk too much anymore because I've taken up 10 minutes of your time. How did that happen? I said I was going to make a 2-minute video. I've made a 10-minute video. And last but not least, I just want to show you this wonderful card because she's probably my favorite card that I've ever made. This is and I forgot to take the sleeve off, so she's very shiny. But this is my inner panic button. And this card is all about how I'm a very anxious person and I'm always like, and I was panicking about everything. So when I first saw her face, I was like, oh my God, that's her. That's that little inner panic button that's always going, oh my God, in my ear. So, and she has a lot to say, but I won't say it because frequently I use her for readings in my workshops. So if you would like to hear what she has to say, I really encourage you to come. So I'm also making this video to let you know that I have a bunch of great workshops coming up this spring. Lots of introductory workshops. In fact, one of them coming up this Saturday, I think March 14th, at the Heart Spot Art Center and Gallery in East Providence. So if you've never done soul collage and you've been interested in it, please come. Go to my website, www.soulunfoldingri.com. And there's a little classes and workshops tab, and you can click on that and it gives you all the class descriptions. And I would love to see you there. Thank you for taking a little time to sit with me this morning and learn about soul collage. I hope it was interesting for you. It was fun for me. I'm still nervous, but I'm going to go now and get to my day and let you get to your day. And thank you so much. So again, Jennifer Watson, Soul Unfolding, Soul Collage, and I hope you have a terrific day. And I look forward to spending some creative time with you in the future. Thank you. Bye.